for joining us. Um, I'm Dr. Anna Bondoc, and our program is called Libreng Consulta. And thanks so much for tuning in. Please join us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is also Dr. Anna Bondoc. YouTube po yan. So please join us. I am an internist. That's an internal medicine specialist. I am also a pulmonary and critical care specialist. I am trained in the United States. I'm a three-term congressman, the wife of a mayor, and the mom po of an 8-year-old. So today our topic po is called How to Stay Positive When You're Positive, or yung mental health aspects po ng COVID. Okay? So medyo nakakagulat po yung topic kasi we don't want to stay positive. We want to become negative in terms of COVID. Pero in terms po ng ating mental health, we need to stay positive and upbeat. Because yun din po ang magpapagaling sa atin during this situation na tayo nga po ay naging positive. So I'm inviting everyone to please put their questions below. I think our moderator, Ms. Reina, has already a few questions na nasa kanya na. But please put them below kasi you don't only need a pulmonary consult when you're positive, but it really helps to have a mental health consult also. So again, please put your questions below. We will try to answer them. But again, we cannot answer po yung personal. We will try to give general comments po on what happens. Pero again, kung masyado po kayo nalulungkot, well, it's time to consult po your doctor. And hopefully, para hindi naman ho kayo mabot ng ganon, and maybe to inspire you and to give you also real life and practical examples of how to stay positive, please join us po ngayong hapon. So let's start. Ano po ba yung problema? Okay, let's read the story. Dear Doktora, a few days ago, na positive po yung nanay ko. Both mommy and I are working outside our home. And my dad po is an overseas Filipino. Dalawa na lang po kami sa bahay. And right now, Doktora, I tell you, I feel so alone. Ako po ay na-quarantine din with my mom because I was exposed to her as a household contact. So I cannot work. Ang pakiramdam ko po talaga is that people are judging us ngayon. My neighbors po, normally very mabait. Parang wala na po kaming narinig. The barangay is helping naman po, pero text na lang po sila ng text. Yung mga titos and titas ko, wala na rin home pumunta sa bahay. And I feel, Doktora, that I'm positive also, though hindi pa ho ako nagpapaswab test. Right now, hindi na po ako makatulog. I'm worried about my mom. I'm worried about myself. And hindi ko po alam kung paano ko po sasabihin kay daddy na positive na po si mommy. So, Doktora, I feel so alone and please give me advice. So, help me, Doktora. Ang lungkot din ng nung kwento na nakuha po natin. She's working, I guess she's in her early 20s. Her mom po na positive, both of them need to work. Their father is abroad. They feel so abandoned po by relatives and by their neighbors. And they feel na parang ginawa pa hong kasalanan nila yung may COVID sila. This is a very common problem po talaga. And I hear this on the internet. I hear this on personal stories po. And I just hear this po every day. It's really hard po, no? So, i-analyze po natin. The first thing I'd like to tell this person po talaga is you're not alone. Well, talagang you're not alone kasi 10,000 a day na po kayo. So, if we multiply that, that's 10,000 a day for 1 week. So, 70,000 na po kayo, no? And then the household, kasi every Filipino po is 5 persons daw per household. So 5 times 10,000, 50,000 po kayo na problema sa bawat araw. Multiply that po by 1 week, matindi na kung dami yun. So you are not alone. And I'm not saying that to make you feel better, but it's really a fact po na kaya nga po siya epidemic and pandemic. Dumami po talaga ng dumami yung mga na-positive po for COVID. And kasama na po doon yung anxiety and pangamba po nung pasyente, nung household contacts, at mga kamag-anak po at katrabaho po nila. So, it's really a sad situation, but you're not alone. Okay? Number 2 that I would like to tell you is, In terms of diagnosis naman po, talagang marami naman po talagang nagre-recover sa COVID. And how can I tell you this? Okay, the statistics are like this. Um, 20% po is really very mild. So halos wala pong nararamdaman. So between 20 to 80%, moderate. And then nararamdaman, but kaya naman po sa bahay. Okay? And then there is 20% po who will really need to go to the hospital or to seek a doctor's advice. And there is 2%, 1 to 2% po na talagang unfortunately mamamatay or will be very seriously ill. Okay? So, there's a good chance naman po that you will recover. Okay? Hindi naman ho like, for example, you got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer po, talagang the prognosis of that is zero. Okay? Or less than 5%. Huwag naman natin sabihin zero. Less than 5%. And it's really not good. Lalo na po, depende po on the diagnosis, but it's really not good. Okay? So the diagnosis po of COVID is not like an automatic death sentence. Marami pong nabubuhay. Almost 80% po can stay at home and just recover there. And less than 20% po really would need to go to the hospital po. So that is something that you should parang feel better about that ano po. Hindi naman ho talaga lahat. It's not an automatic death sentence. Okay? So maybe that should help you feel positive and feel hopeful po. If you are young, if you are female, if you are not overweight, if you're relatively healthy, and there's a good chance po that you will recover. And however, even if you're older with comorbidities or iba pa pong sakit, meron pa rin hong nagre-recover. You might just need to go to the hospital or perhaps consult your doctor. But there's a good chance po that you could get better. So, let's focus po on the positive. It's not like stage 4 cancer, hindi naman ho na nasagasaan kayo ng bali-bali po ang buto nyo, or na stroke, which really can cause also problems. But again, most of the problems po, or a lot of the problems of COVID, aside from being physical, are mental in nature. And kaya po, we're holding this talk na how to be positive when you're positive. Okay? Thirdly, why should you stay positive when you're positive? Well, ako po, I'm a big believer in mental health. And I do believe po that the state of mind of a person or a patient depends. Talagang ano ho, makakatulong ho talaga yon sa inyo pong paggaling. If you manage to stay positive, if you manage to stay brave, if you manage to overcome po yung inyong nararamdaman po, it can really, really help you get better. I do believe that the mind po, I wouldn't say it's totally in control of the body, but I would say po it's mind over matter. And you can will yourself po to get better. Or even if you're just gonna get better, you can will yourself to be positive and hopeful despite po having COVID. So let's talk about a few issues po na binanggit niyo po, no? You feel so alone. So sinabi ko na nga po, you're not alone. 10,000 po kayo sa isang araw. Okay? You cannot work. Talagang nalulungkot po ako, but as a household member, you need to stay in the house. So I hope that your employer po, pag in-inform po kayo, yung hindi naman po kayo positive, you're just a contact. Maging understanding po and realize po kung ba't kayo pwedeng pumunta sa bahay. Kailangan pong mag-stay sa bahay. Okay? With regards po to your mom's job, I'm glad na in-inform niyo po yung barangay captain. Sabi niyo po tumutulong. And I hope that you informed rin po yung job ng mami niyo. So, most likely po yung mga ganyan na-infect po sa trabaho and that they can find out kung sino po ang naging positive doon at ma-inform din po yung mga tao to take the proper precautions. Sinabi niyo po, you feel that people are judging you. Unfortunately po, that's a common feeling eh. Kasi sometimes people say, kumain ka sa labas kaya naging positive ka, ganun po, no? And assigning blame. Ako po, nandito na po tayo eh, to investigate. It's okay to contact trace, pero yung manisi po, wala na po tayong may itutulong doon. I'm sure nobody wanted that to happen. And tayo po, if you are not a positive person, please do not judge another person kasi hindi naman po natin talaga alam kung ano po talaga ang nangyari. And then, number 2 po, no, I would like to say this, there are really people po who did not remove their mask. But, the mask po is not 100%. Even with the face shield, it is 90 to 95%. So meron pa rin po namang 5% na nalulusutan despite best practices. And usually, yung best practice po yun, yung maluwag po yung inyong mask. And that happens po especially when, because of income reasons, hindi naman ho lahat tayo bago yung mask, lahat po maganda yung surgical mask. Some other persons have to reuse some cloth masks and dun po nagkakaproblema. Okay, when the mask doesn't properly fit, hindi na po siya nagiging 90% and sometimes it even goes lower. So mask fit is a big issue. Of course, yung behavior din po, kasama din po yon. But regardless po kung ano po ang ginawa ng tao, this is not the time po para manisi. This is the time to be understanding. So it's not for us to judge. Okay? So please, people are judging you. What I could tell them po is don't judge other people because tomorrow baka po kayo yon. Okay? With regards po yung sa neighbors nyo and your titas and titos are not visiting. Bawal po talagang mag-visit, okay? So, understand that they're staying away not because they hate you or what, but because talagang bawal po talaga. Because we need to separate po talaga yung mga positive from those who are not sick para hindi po sila magkasakit. Okay? So, after the entire issue, you might find your neighbors to be very kind and understanding din po, and your titas and titos to be helpful. But at the moment, talagang hindi po sila dapat dumating. Kung kayo naman po yung kapitbahay and you are the tita and the tito, what can you do so that somebody won't feel alone? Well, you can communicate po through text and inspiring messages. Kung alamin nyo naman ho, kung open yung mga tao, no, baka text kayo ng text, nabibwisit na pala sila. Aside from that po, maybe you can just say, if you need anything, let us know. Another thing that you can do po as relatives of people who are sick, magpadala po kayo ng regalo. Bring food. Pahatid nyo na lang po. Pamalengke nyo po yung mga tao. Kung ano po yung kailangan nila, ihatid nyo doon. And that is one way of showing that we care even though we are not there in person. And makakatulong na po talaga yon na malaki po sa tao. So if someone texts you po na, I'm positive. I don't mean mentally, I mean positive COVID. Ang una nyo pong sagot should be, I'm sorry to hear that. Followed by, meron ba akong maitutulong? Okay? And the third text should be, anong ginawa mo? Kumain ka ba sa labas? No. Okay? No. No. Okay? So, yun po yung dalawang dapat isagot. Okay? And then thirdly, tinanong niya, how will I tell daddy overseas? My advice to you is, tell him straight. Ako po, I'm a believer po in honesty. Marami pong nagtatago. But ako po, better to tell your dad. I don't mean broadcast it on Facebook, But the people who matter to you, like your dad, kung may kapatid ka abroad, be honest na lang po, okay? Hindi po maganda yung tinatago na lang po yung problema. Next thing you know, nasa ospital na po yung nanay nyo. No. Okay? And I am a believer po talaga in personal honesty. Kasi pag may nangyari po, how are you going to explain this to the relatives that you didn't tell them? Okay? So better to be honest, tell your dad that mom is sick and that you are doing all your best to take care of your mom. Okay? I do not mean broadcast this on Facebook. What I mean is to the people who matter po, tell them, to the barangay, tell them, and to your boss, tell them, because you are also caring po for your co-employees in this manner. And then, sinabi niyo po na you feel like you are positive too. Possible po yun eh. Possible po yun. I'm not one to tell you na, no, you're negative. No, it is possible. But what I'm saying is, so what if you're positive? You know what to do. Most likely naman po, it will be mild. And sabi nga po nila, makakayanan nyo rin po yun. Sometimes, while you're waiting, yung mga iba pong na-swab test, sabi nila po, the worst part was the waiting. So, yun po yun. Sometimes, the worst part is really the waiting. But again, if you're positive, well, so what? So, you're positive. That's okay. Lakasan na lang po natin ang loob nyo and dadaanan nyo po yan. So, what I could say for you is to stay positive mentally. How can it be? Keep busy. Kahit nasa bahay po kayo, read books, watch Netflix, talk to your friends, play video games, keep yourself busy. Kung kaya nyo po and you're feeling well, exercise. Kasi po exercise gives positive endorphins and it can help. At least may ginagawa, di po ba? Read, watch TV. Um, Are Facebook support groups helpful? Yes, opo. Mga Bible groups, opo. I would say that. There are COVID positive groups po ngayon sa Facebook. As long as positive lang po yun sa inyo, hindi naman yun nananakot, ano? But if that is positive for you, then do it. Um, Again, support your mom kasi she's the one who's positive. Remember, hindi naman ikaw. Well, we don't know kung positive ka, no? But support your mom also. She must be scared and you must show her po na you care for her and that you're there. However, your mom must stay isolated in the room. Okay, hindi kayo pwedeng magtabi even though you really want to support your mom. She should stay in the room. Okay? And lastly, pray po. No? I do believe that prayers help. Prayers calm us down. There is a reason why your mom is positive, even though we don't know why that is. There is a reason that nandyan po kayong lahat and we just have to trust in the Lord po talaga. There are two things that keep a Filipino strong. The first po is their family. That's your dad, you, and your mom. Magtutulungan po kayo. And I'm sure you will find your titas and titos willing to help. Reach out lang po kayo. Makikita nyo rin po yung kindness ng mga hindi nyo po inaasahan. A lot of people have told me that the barangay has been so kind to them. Hindi po nila na inasahan na bibigyan po sila ng tulong, whether material, whether emotional, whether ano po, talagang just being there. Malaking bagay po yun na people that you don't know are supportive and caring. Tsaka kung minsan nagugulat po tayo, galit tayo sa gobyerno, yung pala may ginagawa yung barangay. And when you become positive, dun yun lang po nalalaman na ganun po yun. You also po, there will be mean people, but there will also be good people po reaching out to you and telling you na kung may kailangan ka, sabihin mo lang. Okay? And the other one po that makes Filipinos strong is your faith. It's Holy Week now. It's, sabi nga po nila, it is darkest before the dawn. So talagang darating din po kayo. You will get better. Darating din po kayo doon. You might feel alone, but I promise you, hindi po. And, well, there's 10,000 of you. So, yun po yun. I mean, it can be scary, but you will find kindness po. You will find understanding and you will find strength. So, yun lang po. I don't really know what else to say. It's different po for everybody, but I urge everyone po that your mental health is very important in this physical battle. Sabi nga po nila, sometimes it's mind over matter, kaya natin yan. Okay? So sa inyo po lahat, magandang hapon and we're here to welcome any questions.
From Ms. Remy Reyes, good afternoon, Doctora, watching here in QC. From one of our viewers, yung kapatid ko po nagpositibo. Ayaw niyang sabihin sa barangay. Paano po yun? Magkasama kami sa bahay.
Since our moderator is busy, I'll read this po, no? Please help me if the moderator is ready na.
No, Doc.
Yung kapatid ko po ay na-positive. Ayaw niya pong sabihin sa barangay, paano po yon at magkasama po kami sa bahay. This talk is more on emotions and mental health and personal relations, ano? So, let's tackle this. Mahirap po ito. And, I cannot, no? I can't, ang hirap po talaga. Also, parang hindi ko narinig yung moderator, so I'm really sorry, okay, guys? It seems like I cannot hear our moderator. Wait lang, ha? Palalakasan ko lang po. Okay. So, how would I tackle this question? Again, I'm a big believer po talaga in honesty, eh. Please, before you start a huge fight po with your kapatid, my best advice is to talk to them honestly. Tell them that if they're really positive, hindi rin ho nila matatago yun eh. You know why? Kasi po, that will come out po sa barangay. And um, that will come out po sa barangay. And then, um, mag-aano po yung ano eh, mag-aano po yung where you put your address, pupunta po sa barangay captain, so they will go to your house. So, you cannot really hide po that you are positive. So, ako, ang advice ko po is, i-inform nyo na rin, kasi malalaman din po yon and magkakasamaan pa po ng loob. So, I would convince po my brother or my sister or whoever is in your house to tell the barangay captain because it's for the safety po of everybody. Okay? So siguro nininervous lang po yun and palakasin nyo na lang po yung loob nyo and na you won't leave them alone po no matter what. Okay? So I'm sorry po, my audio is not working so well but natatakot po akong galawin kasi baka masira pa ho yung connection. So next question na lang. From DM Sebastian. Hello, Doktora. Ask ko lang po, okay lang pong gamitin ang hydrogen peroxide sa symptoms na 5 days isolated na po. Saan nyo po gagamitin yung hydrogen peroxide po? That's usually used to clean wounds. So, don't drink it or what, okay? For ano ho yan? For cleaning wounds lang po, okay? So don't use the hydrogen peroxide po. If you want to gargle, you can gargle po with betadine. There's a betadine gargle ha, not the regular betadine lang. Opo. So, Doktora, I am so worried about my kids. Na positive po ako. How can I recover from over-worrying? Questions. This is probably a mom and I would say her kids are young. My best advice dito sa mental health, no, realize that the best way that you can help your kids po is to help yourself. In other words, you need to get better. So if you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. If you need to go to the quarantine facility, go to the quarantine facility kasi better na ho na hindi nyo mahawaan yung mga bata sa bahay nyo. Number 3, kung kailangan po ninyong magpatingin sa doktor, magpatingin po kayo sa doktor. And somebody, your husband, your mom, or whoever will look after the kids. The best way that you can take care of your children is to get better. Kasi po, yung aasikasuhin nyo po sila or refusing to go to the hospital or refusing to be checked up because of the kids, baka humimamatay and your kids will be orphans. So, take care of the kids first. I mean, take care of yourself first. And, you know, the Filipino family is very supportive. Someone's gonna take care of the kids, okay? And later on, when you're getting better na po, bayaran nyo na lang po with much kindness yung nag-alaga po sa inyong anak. Okay? I'm sorry, I cannot hear. There's something wrong with my audio, but I'll just read na lang po the questions. And I'm sorry, our moderator, pasyensya na po talaga.
Yeah,
can you please put a thumbs up if you can hear me or is there some problem? Okay, I'm gonna read the question na po. Huh? Sorry. Dear Doktora, I am so guilty na positive po si Mommy. Feeling ko ako yon kasi ako lang po ang lumalabas. Eh akala ko naman po maingat ako. You know, this guilt, sometimes kasi yung contact tracing saan ka pumunta, anong ginawa mo, parang ang feeling mo talaga may kasalanan kang malaki. I would like to take out that issue sa contact tracing. And if you're a contact tracer, don't judge kasi otherwise wala pong mag-open up sa inyo talaga. Kung tama man o mali po yung tao, let's just leave it at that. I think they know already their mistakes. Na positive na po yung nanay nila, sila po positive or possibly the carrier. Yung paninisi po won't help us move forward from the issue. Kami po, you know, it's because of the contact tracing need eh. Ako po, I'm primarily po a cancer doctor eh. So, you know, when someone gets diagnosed po with lung cancer, I don't go like, yeah, well, because you're smoking, ganon. That's not the time. Okay? Hindi po talaga yon yung time. And so what if they were smoking? Nobody's perfect. So, ganon din po yung sa COVID. don't feel guilty. Okay? Even the most careful persons might get sick because the mask, I said, is 90%. And then sometimes po talagang nasagi po yung mask nyo, baka ho nababa or it wasn't fit properly. And these are things that you didn't do on purpose. Ngayon po, alam nyo naman rin ho yung kasalanan nyo if you went around eating and drinking with other persons at may hinawaan po kayo, you know naman po what you did. And medyo kuminsan, yun din po yung mabigat. But nangyari na po yun and let's just move forward from that. Care for whoever po yung nagkasakit and then learn our lesson po. And siguro, what I could suggest to you is, i-share nyo na lang po talaga yung nangyari in the future para maybe, if you were with a barkada po that what kept drinking and going out, saway-sawayin nyo naman po ng konti. Okay? But the most important is, nangyari na po yon. Let's just help each other and move forward. Dear Doktora, paano ko po bibisitahin ng jowa ko? I feel so lonely and I'm stuck at home and ayaw na ayaw siya ng parents ko. Ang gaganda ng mga tanong na to. I wish I could talk to Ma'am Reina but something's wrong with our audio so I cannot hear her. Miss Reina, baka naman you wanna type in a comment.
Hello,
Pwede rin
Doktora.
naman.
Can you hear me po?
You're probably a young person and you know, napakahirap po talaga ng, for example, you are positive. Or someone in your house is positive, or you guys are ECQ'd together. And it's really difficult po for young persons not to be able to be with the significant persons po in their life. And for a young person po, talagang ano po how do I put this? For a young person, sometimes friends, boyfriends, yun talaga buhay na nila eh. And yung mga parents po, sometimes and often, kasi diba that's why they said teenagers. Usually, we cannot understand that. Everyone hates the boyfriend of their kid. And ito po talagang, ano po talaga, emotionally devastating to sa mga bata. But of course, you know, my kid is only 8. Pag naging teenager na rin yan, I'm sure may sarili po akong problema. What I could say po talaga is, it's hard. Try to understand na lang your parents. Well, that's why they made the internet kasi hindi naman napupulis na mga parents yon. And then, try to also understand, ano ba ayaw ng parents mo sa jowa mo? Baka naman ho, reasonable. Okay? But again, ito po, very stressful sa mga bata, even though as parents, sometimes we don't acknowledge that. Let me take off po my headset and see how we are going, okay? Okay, lang. Miss Reina, do you hear me?
Can you hear me, Doc?
Wala talaga.
Hello, can you
Huwag
hear
na
me
natin
po?
anuhin, baka maputol na lang talaga.
Okay po.
Hello. Let's just go. Ayan. Thanks, we're back. Thank you so much. Sorry talaga, hindi ko na talaga naayos. I'm very sorry. From Miss Reg. If your jowa really loves you, mananahimik kayo pareho sa kanya-kanyang bahay. Respect your parents' rule first. Is that from Miss Reg? I just want to let you know na pag naging empleyado ko po ito, pag naging teenagers yung anak mong babae, let's see you say this again. Okay? Mahirap. It's hard to be the parents of a teenager. And you know what, ito lang, as parents, we say respect your parents. But for teenagers, parang ang bigat po yun talaga sa kanila. Mabigat. Yun lang. From Eden, hi Doctora, good afternoon. Watching from Hong Kong. Hi Miss Eden, how are you? Ito po, another good question. Nag-positive po yung asawa ko. I feel na nakuha niya yon sa pagkain sa lunchroom nila. Yung boss kasi niya, ayaw pong mag-work from home ang mga, siguro, empleyado. And yung mga nasa ilalim niya po, ang tatamad kasi. Gusto ko siyang mag-resign. Oh my gosh. So let me their wife, their husband, ano ba, babae ba o lalaki? Walang nakalagay ano po. But basically their partner became positive and he or she suspects it came from the lunchroom in their office because their boss refuses to let them work from home. And siguro the boss refuses to let them work from home kasi napapansin rin niya aside from them na they're not working so hard pag wala yung mata ng boss sa kanila. Problema po talaga yan. And most of our surge po talaga has been opening up the economy. And opening up the economy includes people going back to work po who were previously on a work from home basis. Ngayon po, once you go back from work, meron po talagang some of the offices and a lot of the offices po talaga dito sa Pilipinas were not made po kasi 'di ba we require ventilation ngayon. Marami ho talagang ginawa po for aircon, lalo na po yung mga high rises. And sometimes the pantry po or the lunchroom is really, really small. So my best advice po for this person, no, naiintindihan ko po yung frustration niya talaga sa trabaho. But my best advice for them is magpagaling muna, okay? Magpagaling muna. Get better first, okay? That's the number one, Magpagaling muna. Kasi let's not make any resign ka na dyan or whatever while you are sick. Get better first and then later on po, assess po yung finances nyo. Can you not go to work anymore? Kung kailangan nyo talaga yung trabaho na I'm sure 99% of us do need that job. Siguro honest talking na lang po with the may-ari, the boss and the manager. And then siguro po find ways. Ikaw lang ba ang na-positive? Kung marami kayo, then talagang sa opisina. Find ways po to reduce po yung exposure po ng mga tao sa isa't isa. Everyone has to wear a mask po talaga sa office, no questions asked. Kung pwede pong buksan yung bintana, please do so. As the boss, sana mandating po yung lunch na 11 o'clock yung iba, 12 o'clock yung iba, at 1 o'clock po yung iba. And then siguro po talagang kailangan magka-dialogues po talaga with your employer. Ngayon, kung talagang hindi na po talaga mag-work out, well, I would have to support you po. Kasi syempre, health po is kailangan po talaga natin to remain healthy. I hope naman po that a number of persons po in your wife or husband's office na nag-positive would be a wake-up call po. I would like to tell employers hindi po sisisihin yung mga empleyado na kayo kasi pasaway, ganyan-ganyan. Okay, may kasalanan sila. But look at the structures of your office also. Where do people sit? Did you buy HEPA filters? Where are they eating? Ano po? Are you enforcing the mask rule? Baka naman ikaw umiikot ka walang mask, ikaw ang boss. So talaga magkakaroon ho ng samaan ng loob. So again, try to make the office as safe as possible for the employees. Kasi po, in the end, konsyensya nyo rin ho pag may mamatay. But again, do not make any, like, mag-resign ka na dyan, ganun. Hindi, gumaling muna. And then later on, honest talking po with the boss. And pag talagang wala na pong magagawa, well, I have to support you in that issue. From Jeanette, good afternoon po, Doktora. Salamat po sa buhay nyo na ginagamit, sa buhay nyo na ginagamit para sa maraming tao to educate. Thanks, Ma'am Jeanette. Ang hirap po talaga ngayon you cannot find a pulmo anymore. Yung pulmo ko po na tinawagan, who's already my resident and a good friend, pinilan niya po yung kamag-anak po namin. Alam mo ba, number 75 yung tao. That was last week. Siguro ngayon, pag pumila ka, number 200 ka na sa dami po ng nag-positive. It's really hard. So I'm hoping po na if you have any questions, today po I'm tackling more of emotional and mental health issues. Pero pwede naman ho maglagay ng mga iba rin. Okay? So from Jeanette, thank you so much po also for joining us this afternoon. Sorry po talaga, our moderator is so super galing. Miss Reina, just type your comments na lang after, babasahin na lang natin. And I'm afraid po to touch my cell phone kasi baka po bumigay yung connection to StreamYard. From Miss Weng, good afternoon, Weng. This is my really good friend from from San Isidro, San Simon. Hi, Weng. Her daughter used to work for me and she's now a very successful hairdresser po sa Canada. Hi, Novi. From Remedios, hindi po maiwasan magkaroon ng takot. Ma'am, hindi tayo tao kung hindi po tayo natatakot. But again, life is a series of challenges po. And we really need to rise above that. And more than that po, no? Ito lang every one of us can contribute po para mabawasan yung takot ng ibang tao or madagdagan. How could I say that? Social media. Halimbawa po, yung kapitbahay nyo nga, may naglilinis ng bahay nila, nabalitaan pong positive sila. What will you do? Will you broadcast it on Facebook? Or will you keep quiet, send them a text and say, if you need anything, just text me. Okay? So talagang are you making mean comments on yung mga na positive? Ay, kumain siguro yan or whatever. So, ganun talaga, ma'am. I think all of us, this is not a pandemic of one person. It's not me to educate. It's all of us po na to support other persons. Kasi that person could be you tomorrow or your sister or your brother. So, sabi nga po nila, do unto others. So, another question. Doktora, ang hirap po ng contact tracing. Feeling ko po, palaging may tinatago ang mga tao. Please give me advice. Ma'am, or sir, I don't know po kung what's your age. But contact tracing po is a sensitive job. And it requires much understanding and no judgments. Kasi it is only when we enter an atmosphere of trust that person will open up to you. Bilang doktor po, no, nalaman ko po yan I ask people straight out, like mga baog ba kayo? What's up with your sex life? Ganun po and people have to trust you to be able to open up. And then people will trust you po when they know that your goal is to help them and the most important is not to judge them. Okay? Kasi po, ang contact tracing, tama po kayo. Sometimes nahulog lang yung mask. Sometimes hindi po maganda yung fitting ng mask. But there are other times po na tao lang po tayo talaga. Maybe I lived in a barangay too long. Maybe I'm just too old. Or maybe I've heard everything already having worked in PGH. But what I could say is tao lang po talaga tayo. And we make mistakes. And we shouldn't be judged for those mistakes. Instead, encourage them na if they care for whatever happened, sabihin na lang po and that no one's there to judge them. Okay? And I would like to say this, there needs to be male contact tracers and there needs to be female contact tracers. And sometimes nakakatulong din po yung ibang edad. Okay? Kasi nasa approach nyo po yan Parang mga doktor po yan There are people who will open up sa mga lalaki kasi mga problemang lalaki. Meron naman hong nahihiya sa mga lalaki, problemang babae. Meron naman pong nahihiya sa mga bata kasi mga problema ng older persons. So, what I'm trying to say is, as a contact tracer po, lakihan nyo na rin ho yung puso nyo at pangunawa. Because we are dealing with people and people are not perfect. Okay? And if they really to swear to the Lord, mamatay man na walang nangyari, maybe walang nangyari. Maybe nahulog yung mask. But again, tell them that you won't judge them. Okay? Doktora, I feel so sad about persons judging me. Ay, Diyos ko. Sinabi ng anak ko, don't judge me. So, lagay mo hashtag don't judge me. And again, don't judge others. From Karina, thanks Karina, Doktora, COVID-19 makes me depressed and stressed. Pati cycle ko delayed na rin dahil sa stress. Lagi po akong anxious. Oh my gosh, Karina, wag naman. Ako rin, kuminsan, there are times that I reach out to my best friends who are also, psychologists. So I tell them, kwentuhan muna tayo. And then, nakakatulong po talaga. Another thing that I did kanina lang, I unfriended and unfollowed a lot of negative accounts on social media. Mga matatalinong tao po, pero I guess nagiging bitter na rin po sila because they're getting anxious. Pati sila na-anxious na rin. Kaya lang, I didn't need to hear more negativity, so unfollow na lang po ako. I might end up watching only cartoons and fashion. But yun po, ma'am. Try to talk to persons na you trust and open up to them. Try to pray. That's what my best friend told me. There is a reason, Anna, why this is happening. And we may not understand it, but the Lord knows why. And then thirdly, again, you can pray to the Lord, but you need to help yourself. So again, try to eat well, try to sleep well. Malaking bagay po ang sleep sa rest. Okay? Try to exercise. And ano po, try na ayusin din po yung mga problema sa bahay. Kasi pag stress po kayo sa loob ng bahay, talagang stress po. Sabi po ng asawa ko, maswerte daw ako, may dalawa akong boys na mababait. O yan. Another nice question from Mr. Eusebio Bondoc. Si Sir yung tiga UK. First and foremost, always pray. Think of the people that you love and who love you. And don't forget your dreams. Beat COVID. Do not let COVID beat you. Ang ganda naman. You know what? This came from someone po who's been battling cancer for 8 years. Sa 8 years, isipin niyo yun. Kaya niyo ba yun? But she remains to be hopeful and sabi niya sa akin, you know, Doktora, I need to fight because I have children. So, yung mga na-COVID po, na positive, na may anak, fight not only for yourself, but for your family. Okay? And remember, ano po, our mind plays, malaki talaga ang impluensya po sa katawan. From Mr. Armando, Doktora, salamat sa advice niyo po sa araw-araw. Sir, thanks also for listening to us and thank you for commenting. We like to read comments and we like to reply to them po. From M, Doc, good afternoon po. Listening from Apalit. Hi M, good afternoon. Kumusta ka? From Chichi, hello Doc, watching here in California. Oh, galing ah. From Cap Silvina Lazaro. Hi ma'am, galing po doktora. Ano po ang pwede naming gawin? Tuloy-tuloy lang po ang paggaling ko. Tama ba ako? Ma'am, hello po doktora. Ano po ang pwedeng gawin ko? Tuloy-tuloy na lang ang paggaling ko. Ma'am, are you positive and that you need if you're getting better, ma'am, just keep on doing what you're doing. And then continue to pray, continue to eat well, continue to sleep well. Yun po yun. OFW po ako sa Kuwait. Hi ma'am, stay safe po sa Kuwait. From DM, Doktora, yung hydrogen peroxide, okay lang bang gamitin pang nebulize? Ako, don't do that. I do not nebulize po with hydrogen peroxide. No, no, no. The only thing that you nebulize po with is normal saline or kaya po Ventolin. Do not use hydrogen peroxide po. Panlinis po yun ng suka. And then, ito pa those who are nebulizing, do you have asthma? Ba't kayo nag-nebulize? If you are COVID positive po and you are nebulizing, please open po all the windows of your house. Kasi po, nagkakalat po kayo ng COVID doon sa loob po ng kwartong yon. So, the fastest way to get rid of it is to aerate it outwards po. Actually, sa mga ospital po, people are not allowed to nebulize na po. Kasi po, it is an aerosol-producing procedure po and posible pong may mahawa dyan. So, if you are asthmatic, ang sinasabi or COPD, ang advice po nila yung spacer. It's a spacer. Alam po ito ng mga asthmatics. And then, yung gamot and then you drink, you take it in. Please do not use hydrogen peroxide po for nebulization. People do not use that and I cannot suggest it po for you. If you are asthmatic or you have COPD, spacer po. From Chichi, safe po talaga ang vaccine. Ano po ang side effects nito? If you have other illnesses, mostly kasi takot po ako magpa-vaccine. Please advise. Ma'am Chichi, marami pong nagtatanong sa akin yan about vaccines. And again, a vaccine po is an emotional issue eh. hindi po siya talaga scientific issue. Kasi all the science says that the vaccine is safe. Kaya lang, yung nervous niyo po, it's not based on science eh. It's more based on how you feel, what other people say po. So ako po, ang masasabi ko po is, it is scientific in nature. And I could tell you po, and every other doctor po will tell you that the vaccine is safe. Why? Kasi po na-test na po siya extensively into thousands of people. Though people say na mabilis, ang ano ho, kaya lang ho naging mabilis si vaccine kasi po nagtulong-tulungan po talaga yung mga tao sa mundo. Dati po kasi, hindi naman pandemic, so people take their time, isa lang ang company nagwo-work dun sa bakuna, ganon. Ngayon ho, because it's a pandemic, um, even the other researchers po, those who are researching for cancer, binitawan na ho nila muna si cancer research. Lahat po sila tumutok nito dito sa bakunan to para matapos na po ito eh. Kasi without the vaccine, this situation will never end. Babalik at babalik lang po tayo sa ECQ. So, in terms of time element, I would say po, yes, it was fast, but because of the number po of people working on it, at saka simultaneous po talaga yung mga clinical trials all over the world, talaga hong naging, yung cooperation. I was talking po to one of the scientists sa Pilipinas, sabi niya, the SARS-CoV genome is the most sequenced genome in the entire world kasi lahat po ng scientists sa mundo dito na lang muna nakatutok. So I would say po, almost 400 million na po talaga ang nabakunahan. And the side effects, siguro pag 400 million na, nilalabas na rin yung side effect, they are pretty mild. Honestly, ako po, nagka-Sinovac, I didn't feel anything eh. Yung mga ibang nabalitaan ko po, merong ibang bumigat ang kamay, meron pong mga nagkasinat. Some people po felt a little flu-like, ganoon. But after one day, I would have to say natapos na po lahat yun. I even heard of someone who took paracetamol and felt totally okay dahil nagparacetamol po siya. So yun lang po yun. Number of people who have died in the world due to COVID is 2 million. Number of people who have died due to the vaccine talagang wala pa po talaga eh. We're just hearing 1 or 2 people who passed away after they got vaccinated. At the most 1 or 2, if 400 million na po talaga yung bakunahan. Okay, if there was really a huge problem, there would be people dropping dead. So, ano po talaga in terms of science po it's safe. But yung emotion nyo po talaga yung emotion nyo talaga ayokong sabihin na, okay, matakot, ganun, kayo yun We have to honor the way you feel and to help you move forward po from the way you feel. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, meron po ba kayong malalaman o makikita that would move you forward and what would that be? Ako po personally, what moved me forward? Yung nakita ko po yung mga kaklase ko and the people that I know and trust getting vaccinated. Kasi my classmates po in the US, sila po yung unang nabakunahan. And I know them personally. So nakatulong po sa akin. I don't know po, I'm not one to tell you na you shouldn't feel the way you feel because that's the way you feel Ang ano ko po is how can I help you move forward from the way you feel. Okay? From Kathy, so sad our neighbors 1 block from my residence died right now because of COVID and the whole family got infected. Doktora, nobody blames but themselves and the busy of their active life. Ma'am, talagang malungkot po akong narinig na may kapitbahay po kayong namayapa na due to COVID. Opo, talagang what happened, talagang as we start to go around, as we need to live our life, kailangan naman ho nating maghanap buhay. Talaga pong COVID lives on the mobility of persons. So talagang mabigat po. At sana we can be mobile and active, but remember po to wear our mask and social distancing. Talaga pong mahirap. Kaya nga po sinasabi po nila na new normal. Sabi nga po nila, no, you do not leave the house without shoes. Well, you can wear chinelas, okay? But you get my point. Lahat naman po tayo nagdadamit. Sana we realize that the mask and the face shield are part of our, ganito na po Yun. But and again, condolences po, and I'm really, really sorry about your kapitbahay. From Miss Marilyn, ay ma'am, I was just thinking about you. Thank you for sending this question. Hi Doc, ano po ang proper protocol para sa home quarantine ng mga nag-COVID positive? Apat sila, isang senior at isang diabetic, dalawang mag-asawa at yung mga kids ay na-expose din. Nasa iisang bahay sila na may isang comfort room po. Diyos ko. Ma'am, talagang mahirap. It's really quite difficult to be in a situation po. I hope hindi lang isang kwarto yung bahay. Ako po, sa mga ganito, I'm really hoping that the LGU would separate the person po, no? Who is positive from the rest of the family. Kasi pag hindi po ginawa yun ng LGU, magkakahawaan talaga. Because let's be honest, may lalabas at pupunta sa CR talaga. Okay? Um, kung naging positive na rin po lahat ng tao sa bahay, well then, doon na sila. But if only one person is positive and the rest are not positive, the most ideal would be to separate the positive person physically, like in another house, in a quarantine facility, or away from the non-positive persons. So if you are the positive person, stay inside. The first thing you do is go to your room and lock the door. Wag na kayong lalabas doon. Okay? Number 2, 14 days po yan. Open the bintana of your room. Kasi yung hininga nyo po, if for example, kasi you open the door, halimbawa may maghatid ng pagkain, lalabas din po yung air. So sana po free-flowing yung air po dun sa bahay ninyo. Okay? Hatiran lang po kayo ng pagkain. Kung pwede po, bigyan po kayo ng alcohol or whatever. Punasan nyo na rin po yung mga, ano nyo, yung, when you send your plates out, kung may, when you send your plates out, sana punasan nyo na rin po, no? How to go to the bathroom? I would suggest po na you go to the bathroom when no one is in the room. I mean, talagang ihiwalay nyo na lang po yung oras nyo ng pag-CR. When you, and then somebody leaves a Clorox po doon and linisin nyo na lang po. And again, electric fan ninyo po para lumabas po yung hangin. It's really a difficult situation. It's so hot. Magkatabi-tabi po yung mga bahay sa Metro Manila. It's really, really, really difficult po. And mahirap pong, mahirap? Ayoko pong, I mean, I'm telling you the ideal, but you know, having, sa edad ko naman po to, marami na rin po akong nakita. Try your best is what I can say. And sa mga LGU, kung pwede nyo pong ilabas yung positive, better. So, yun po yun. From Miss Catherine, Doktora, good afternoon po. Ask ko lang po, paano po i-convince ang parents ko to have the vaccine? May hypertension po si mother and diabetic po si father. Okay po bang magpa-vaccine sila? Ma'am, people with comorbidities, meaning of comorbidity, diabetes, cancer, chemotherapy, hypertensive, arthritis, or whatever, yung may ibang sakit, at saka yung may edad, mas lalong-lalo na po silang kailangan ng babakunahan. Hindi lang po sila recommended. Almost super necessary na po. Kasi kung ma-COVID po yung mga yan, sila po yung high risk of death. So sila po talaga yung dapat bakunahan. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, why don't they want to be vaccinated? Is it because of their disease? Sa hypertensive and parang nabasa ko ata diabetic. Sabihin niyo po, because of their maraming sakit, all the more reason na dapat po silang mabakunahan. Yun po. And many, many seniors po in the sa US nga, sa UK, yung mga senior pa po ang unang nabakunahan. After the doctors comes the seniors. So maybe if you have relatives in the States, they could call up your mom and tell them kung ano po yung naging experience nila. That might help. Kasi sometimes, nalagay natin na si president gano'n, nabakunahan, si doctor ganyan, nabakunahan. Pero hindi mo naman sila kilala. So sometimes it helps na yung mismong kakilala mo po ang nabakunahan. Kaya nga po, I always say that you are an influencer in your family, in your home, in your school, with your classmates, yun po yun. So I hope that you can convince your parents kasi talagang devastating po pag may nangyari sa kanila. At saka diba sabi ni Miss Grand International, Samantha Bernardo, if there was only one vaccine left, she would give it to her mom. So tell that to your mom. From Ashley, saan po pwedeng magpa-swab ng libre? Ashley, saan po kayong LGU? Doon po kayo mag-inquire. Kasi iba't iba po yung mga patakaran ng bawat LGU. From Sasert, Doktora, from Kuwait. Thanks. From Kathy, Doktora, as a real estate agent, I'm also active with my everyday life, but thank God free of COVID. Ma'am, umikot ka na lang sa internet muna talaga kasi mahirap eh. But again, I respect everyone po who has to work kasi po hanap buhay yan eh. Ano papakain natin sa mga kids natin? So, ano na lang, ingat na lang po. That is what I could say. Ako po, my husband is a mayor. He has to go out every day. Sometimes, lalo na noon na talagang ayaw po natin talaga na lumabas yung mga kamag-anak natin, especially those very close to our hearts. But you know what? Everyone has to do their duty po ngayon sa Pilipinas. Otherwise, babagsak po ang Pilipinas. And tayo po bilang kamag-anak, mga asawa, we just have to support them po. Elisa, hi Doktora, watching from Apalit. Thanks, Elisa. Wow, always blooming. Wow, thank you. Ikaw din. From Kathy, even my sister po, no side effects after the Pfizer vaccine. But my nephew, wife got chills from Moderna. Mom, okay. That's really great to hear. That the Pfizer was okay and the chills, siguro kakayanin na rin po natin yung chills. I think that's okay na rin po. Rather than, not be protected from COVID. So sabi nga po nila, bakunado, protektado. So at least, Ma'am Cathy, okay na yung sister nyo, at yung asawa po ng nephew nyo, protektado na rin po. From Axel Guapa. Wow. Thanks. Eto, sayang talaga si Ma'am Reyna. I cannot hear her. I would really like to ask her a lot of questions too. Dear Orly, Doctor, I'm hypertensive. That's qualify me to fall in line for people with comorbidities. Next na after seniors. Actually, yes, that is a comorbidity po. From Eden, good evening po. Nakakatulong po bang ang air purifier kung may positive po sa isang bahay? Yes, ma'am, that can help a lot. But again, it's not absolute. So, wag lalabas yung positive sa loob, from the kwarto at sabihin nga may air purifier naman, okay lang na makihalubilo sa mga kasama sa bahay. No, the positive person remains in the room. Though, nakakatulong po. Though, ako, I'm more of a believer in the electric fan eh. Opo. Kasi mura lang yun eh. And the open window. The open door, the open window, and the electric fan. Yun po yun talaga. So from Trina, Doktora, if you have slight fever on day 1, swab on day 6, when will the 14-day count start? Day 1, day 6, or paglabas ng results? Pagka-swab, according to my husband. From Catherine, Doktora, may reply po ba? Yes, ma'am. There's a replay on YouTube, Dra Anna York Bondoc. Please do show it on. We're desperate for YouTube and subscribers. Thank you. From Brother Ross Ramos. Good afternoon po, Doktora. Ingat po kayo. Salamat po from Santo Tomas. Sir, thank you po. And stay safe po dyan sa Santo Tomas. From Raymond, Doktora, medyo late nakapanood. Di ko alam kung nasagot na po previously. Pero itinanong ko din po, yung first dose po ba ng vaccine safe na ba? O mas safe pa yon kesa sa wala? Or as good as none po ba? Ay, magandang tanong yan. That is an excellent question. Ito po sabihin ko lang po, the full protection of the vaccine so that you will get yung sinasabi po nilang 90+% na hindi kayo mamamatay occurs 2 weeks after the second dose. Okay? So, after the first dose, you are not yet reaching that 90% protection. Pero meron na po kayong protection talaga. And majority po of those who got COVID after the first dose, and again, most of them po were really quite mild. So, meron na pong protection yung first dosing. Okay, you have antibodies, you have formed antibodies, but you're not yet at the 90%. And kung nabakunahan po kayo after the first dose, that's good. Pero you still need to wear a mask, be careful, kasi pwede pa rin po kayo magka-COVID. And the second thing is, what the vaccine said is that you will not die. Pero hindi naman ho sinabi that you won't get sick o hindi kayo makakahawa. So, again, still take precautions. I would like to share with you sa UK po, ito po ang ginawa nila sa United Kingdom. Because sobra na po yung kanilang epidemic po doon, they delayed the second dose. Anong meaning na yung they delayed the second dose? Binakunahan muna yung entire UK one time. Okay? Kasi po, kulang yung bakuna. So instead of vaccinating one person twice, kinalat po nila sa madlang tao. So even though hindi pa ho kompleto yung second dose, bumaba na ho yung COVID rate sa UK. So what does that mean? It means that there is a protection afforded by the first dose, but it is not yet absolute. Okay, so you still need to have the second dose. So from Ms. Reg, thank you for teaching us medicine in layman's terms. Kailangan ni Ma'am Reg kasi what I noticed po na matagal na rin akong doktor, matagal na rin akong living and working as the wife of a mayor, as a congressman, and as a doctor. Madali lang po dumakdak eh. Ang sarap dumakdak. Ang tanong, may nakakaintindi ba sa'yo? That is something that is very important that sometimes we as doctors lack, which is the understanding na hindi kayo nagkaka-communication. It often happens. Like, sinabi ko na sa kanila, ano ba, bakit ba hindi sumusunod yung mga yon? Tanong ko, nagkaintindihan ba kayo? Yun. From Jane. Jane, hello po, Doktora. Salamat sa payo nyo and watching from Jordan. Hi, Jane in Jordan. Ang ganda. Thank you. From Ashley. Doktora, pag positive po ba sa COVID after 14 days, okay na po bang makihalubilo sa mga kasama po sa bahay? Well, ano po talaga, the DOH protocol is if you had mild COVID, and wala na po kayong lagnat or nararamdaman after 3 days po, or 10 days from the first time na nagkasakit po kayo, you're okay to go around the house na po. Okay? No need for a second swab. Sa Pilipinas pa nga, over pa nga ho tayo ng recommendation kasi po tayo 14 days. So that's even more days po than the recommended. Pero ito sasabihin ko if you're still having fever after 14 days or 10 days or what, pag nagtatagal, you need to call the doctor po kasi you might have moderate or more COVID. Pero kung mild lang po at okay na po kayo, you're free to go out of your room and talk to persons. From Alfonso Perez Bungaynuki. Dra Anna, bakit po yung Astra pang senior lang, pero yung Sinovac 18 to 59 years old, ano po ang pagkakaiba? Magandang tanong yan eh. And I asked this also from experts. Sabi po nila that Sinovac was not approved in the Philippines for seniors because it was not tested on seniors. Na-test lang po siya for people 18 to 59 years old. And this is very normal. Kasi when we do the testing, the first people that we test for are the 18 to 59 years old talaga. And then later on, pag safe sa kanila, expand na natin to the seniors, expand na rin po natin to the kids. Okay? So wala naman pong bad effects ang Sinovac sa seniors. Nag-iingat lang po talaga ang mga regulators sa Philippines at binigyan lang po sila ng emergency use authorization for the ages of 18 to 59. I would like to say sa China po, ginagamit na po ito sa all ages. Lumampas na po sila more than the seniors. And I hope that they will publish their data on seniors soon. Can a senior get Sinovac? Yes, a senior can get Sinovac. And I have seen an 85-year-old get vaccinated po with Sinovac. Basta pumirma lang po sila na they understand po na senior po sila and they want to get Sinovac. So yun lang po. That's the only reason why Sinovac was not licensed for seniors in the Philippines. Not because something bad happened, but because it wasn't tested. In China naman po, as I mentioned to you, ginagamit na po sa all ages, and we're just waiting po for the data. From Ellie, hi Doc, thanks sa info. Thank you also. From Orly, Doc, explain po bakit ang Johnson & Johnson ay one dose lang. Ay, ang ganda po ng tanong na yan. And my best friend and kumare, thank you, Dr. Carmen Batacan Nievera. Let me ask her this question, okay? She is the newly appointed Asia Pacific Director for J&J. Sir, I really don't know, but I think that was the way J&J was designed. Ito lang ang sasabihin ko about a one-dose vaccine, ano? And this is really very, 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 very important. Pag 2 beses nyo pong huhulihin ng isang tao, mahirap. Pero sana, and that's why I like also one-dose vaccines. We give medicines once a day. Kasi po, mahilig ako sa once a day talaga. Kasi po talagang tao tao. Some of them might have side effects. Ayaw nang bumalik. Yung iba naman, nag-travel. Yung iba naman, nakalimutan. Yung iba naman po, ayaw na maturukan. Yung iba naman po, okay na daw yung one dose. So, yun eh. When you try to repeat an action talaga, especially kung hindi naman masyado masaya yung first action, hindi po sila babalik. So that's why it's very important, and that's why J&J is really is a promising vaccine, and a lot of people are very interested about it. It's because of the compliance issue po. You just grab the person, bakunahan mo, and wag na kayong magkita ever again. Masaya yun. Okay? Let me ask Dr. Batacan Nievera, why exactly was it made po for a one dose? But I'm suspecting because of the compliance. I do not know the technical reason kung bakit po siya one dose, and I will find out. But I'm telling you po, from a psychological reason, it is a very good vaccine because mas madali po talagang hulihin yung isang tao minsan na lang po. And tapos na yung issue. From Trina, super appreciated ka namin, Doc. Thanks. Hi, Trina. Thanks. I appreciate you too. From Alfonso, Doktora, shout out naman sa Barangay Council ng Barangay San Gabriel, Macabebe. Hoy, mga kabarangay ko to. To the Barangay Council of San Gabriel, Macabebe, and their barangay captain, ang Kapitan Marlon. Thank you so much po. So, Ms. Rains, last question na ha, kasi medyo dumidilim na naman dito, and the last time I was attacked by Nick. From Sheila, ayan. Doktora, may masabi po bang epekto na yung nabakunahan ka na AstraZeneca, tapos kinabukasan nag-positive ng antigen yung asawa ko? Ma'am, kinonfirm nyo ba na na swab positive rin ho si sir? There have been there have been false positive antigen tests. What could have happened po, ma'am, was baka ho the day, maybe 5 days before the vaccine, na-expose po siya. Kung talagang positive ha, it's possible po na 5 days before the vaccine, na-expose si sir, then nabakunahan, and then may naramdaman, tinest positive. So, yun po yung nangyari. They did not get the vaccine, the COVID from the vaccine kasi po, patay ho yung mga COVID sa loob ng Sinovac. And Astra po, it's an adenovirus vector. Anong meaning nun? Parts of the COVID lang po na again inactivated ang ipapasok po sa tao. So, hindi po nanggaling sa bakuna yung COVID po, if ever talagang positive. I would like to share the experience of my classmate. My classmate po, nabakunahan nata ng Moderna. And then, 2 days after, nagkasakit po yung midwife nila. 3 days after, the 3rd day, tumawag po si midwife, kasi they work in a clinic. Tumawag po si midwife, day 2 after bakuna, nag-positive po ako, ganyan. US, so I guess, hello, I got positive. So, third day, nagpa-swab silang lahat. My classmate, two other pediatricians were positive. And the nurse. So, para nga sabi niya, para daw super spreader si midwife. So, it's possible. It's possible po to get positive after an exposure after the first bakuna. Kasi again, as I explained po, hindi naman ho ano eh. We get vaccinated para hindi ho sasabihin na we'll never become positive. Ang nakalagay po doon is 90+% na hindi po tayo mamamatay and 90+% na hindi po tayo ma-IC. Okay? So, yun po yun. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties po. I hope we were able to discuss po yung mga emotional, emotional and mental health issues po ng pagiging positive. Kasi talagang matindi po talaga yon. And mental health is important. It is as important or even more important than physical health. I would like to apologize po. We missed our moderator. She's really so sharing so many things po sa atin. Ayusin lang po namin yung aming technical difficulties. And please have a safe and healthy Holy Week. Salamat po.